Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I am very excited to be here again. I am Tanya Hawley, and you are here with us on the Radical Edge of HR, a very special TRA edition. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to be your host again, Tanya Hawley. I'm on the marketing team at HR Knowledge Source. And today I have two very special people who will be joining us not just today, but ongoing every month, because we're going to do this every month, a very special edition for you to learn some things about TRA. So before we dive into all that information, let me introduce you to very special ladies. May I introduce you to Miss Linda Trocina, lead senior recruiter. Hello, Linda, and welcome.
Thank you, Tanya.
Can you tell us a
Just
little about yourself, please?
sure. I have been with TRA for a little over a year, but I do have over 20 years of recruiting experience, all disciplines, all types of positions, a bit of experience.
Wonderful. Thank you, Linda. And I'm proud to introduce, you may have seen her a few times before as well, Miss Artie Harrison, who is our Senior Director of HRKS and TRA. Welcome, Artie.
Thank you, Tanya. It's such a pleasure to be here. Myself, also, I've been in human resources for over 25 years. I've been with HR Knowledge Source and TRA for over actually 4 years now. So super excited.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much. We got a wealth of knowledge here, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and dive in because I know you're asking, because I can hear you're asking, what is TRA? I know you want to know. So inquiring minds want to know, and we're going to tell you. So Artie, could you please explain to everyone what
Yeah.
or who is TRA?
Wow, that's a great question, Tanya. Thank you so much for asking. So, TRA is the Recruitment Alliance, and we fondly like to refer to ourselves as TRA, and we do retained search solutions. So, TRA is actually a division of HR Knowledge Source, which we also, for short, call ourselves HRKS on that side of our fence. And we offer a flexible, a very customized approach to acquiring talent through some, what I would say, some unique and very innovative sourcing methods. And we provide recruitment services for example, individual contributor roles. We also do manager roles, directors, senior to executive level roles as well. And we also do volume recruiting, filling positions within any industry and any segment. So we are so proud of our work.
Great. Thank you for that. And what made HRKS actually start this division of TRA?
You are full of great questions today. Thank you for asking that one. So TRA was developed out of a request from our HR Knowledge Source clients because we provide full service HR consulting services via HRKS. So our clients wanted to really align their recruitment needs with a trusted partner. And we developed TRA to meet these needs. And our expectations have just truly exceeded our even our own expectation. And this is why our vision says that we partner with our clients to attract, to acquire, to reward, to retain, and to develop the best talent in our clients' industry so that we can successfully execute in this really ever changing environment, but also our clients' ever changing strategies and their goals.
Great. So it sounds like this was driven by the clients.
Absolutely. And we thank them.
Wonderful that you supplied a need that was needed, apparently. So,
Yes.
and how long has TRA existed? How long? When did it start?
Yeah, so TRA, we launched TRA in the first quarter of 2021, and we have a very strong placement success.
Okay. 2021, we were in the heart of the pandemic, right?
Yes, we were actually in the pandemic, and we literally pushed through it all. I mean, we're just so proud of the work that we've done. And launching something in such a period of time would probably be considered unusual, but for us,
Yes.
it was targeted, and it really has been a success for us.
That is wonderful, and that says a lot to be able to do it during that time frame and be successful at launching it, and here we are a year later. So that's
Yeah.
wonderful. So tell me about the team. I know obviously you and Linda are on the team, but can you tell me a little bit more, or tell everyone a little bit more about your recruiting team?
Sure, absolutely. So we have an experienced talent acquisition team, And it does include our lead recruiter, which is Linda Tracini. And then we have 3 senior recruiters. We have a recruitment coordinator, and then we have a senior director. And collectively, we possess decades of recruiting experience. So great team.
Wonderful. I love HRKS/TRA team members. So, there's a lot of recruiters out there, a lot of recruiting companies. What makes TRA different from all those other recruitment firms? Why should I choose TRA?
Yeah, there are lots of recruitment firms and they're tremendous selections and they're all great. They really are. Our mission at TRA is really to try to provide what we call proven recruitment solutions and strategies that will connect the right professional with the
Mhm.
right company. And we provide what we call the people answer to complete, maybe it's their present and even their future profitable goals. And I believe that what makes TRA so different is that we partner with both the employer and with the candidates. And we
Mm,
use our client discovery process, which we do with every single client. We use that time to really ascertain from the client more than what just the job description says. And
okay.
what we do is we ask questions to try to understand the client's culture. We want to be able to discuss the client's picture of like, what does an ideal candidate look like for you? And then
Hmm.
we further try to explore knowledge, skills, and abilities that may not just be listed directly on the job description. And we seek a lot during those discovery sessions to try and get clarity around what is the management style that this role will actually report to, because the matches are really important to us, right? And then we also, in addition to that, we look and ask the optimum question, which is what are the deal breakers and what are the must haves for this role? So when we're asking our clients that, we're getting intimate around what's the best fit for them, but we need to know going into this, what's a deal breaker? What's the best fit for you? And we go through a video interview process that's very detailed and customized. So we interview and screen all of our candidates, and it makes our clients feel like they actually already know the candidates.
Okay, great. One more question as far as this area, the introduction part of TRA. I know HRKS is headquartered in the Atlanta area. Do you just recruit exclusively in the Atlanta area, or are we covering a wider range?
Wow, that's a great question. Our success has allowed us to be able to proudly say that TRA recruits for any industry segment and we recruit nationally.
Mm,
And Tanya, I might add that if it's needed, we will recruit internationally as well.
wonderful. Okay, great. Thank you for that, Artie.
You're
Let's talk
welcome.
about the process a little bit. Linda, I know you've been waiting, so
Yes.
it's your turn. Can you please share what some of the key tactics TRA uses to recruit for the right professional for its clients? Can you share that with us, please?
Sure. All of our candidates are put through a very thorough interview process prior to being presented to our clients.
Okay.
For each new search, we create customized pre-screen forms that align with the job descriptions. And in speaking with the candidates, we ensure that their experience aligns with the job description. In most cases, also, our clients are assigned a relationship manager that acts as the
Mm,
liaison between the client and the recruiter, and that really helps to facilitate a smooth, seamless process.
great. I like that term, relationship manager. It sounds so relational. No, it sounds very personable. That's how it sounds to me. Like you actually are establishing relationships with everyone.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly.
Yes.
Tanya, that was an excellent point that you brought out, because on both the HRKS side of our world as well as TRA,
Mhm.
relationships are key to everything that we do.
Yes, very good. So it fits right in with everything. So, what are some of the key steps TRA uses to help create and manage an end-to-end recruiting process, Linda?
Our process really is truly full cycle.
Mhm.
Prior to each search, we meet with the client. We gather detailed information on the job description, the company culture, the expectations in terms of timing, and to really gain a true understanding of the client's needs.
Mhm.
After candidates are presented to that client, we even have a debriefing call. This call allows us to determine, did we hit the mark? Do we need to make adjustments? Um, what has to be done in order for us to make that ideal placement? In addition to that, we provide weekly written summaries to the client so that they have knowledge of where we are in the process. And even when an offer is made, we facilitate the onboarding process. We'll do assessments if requested, as well as reference checks.
Okay. Now I know you speak to the companies or the people that actually need the candidates, but do you speak to the candidate before submitting them to the client?
Good question. Definitely. We speak with every candidate. In fact, we do our interviews via a video platform. And this really allows us to um, not only get to know the person, but to see professionalism. We build a relationship with that candidate through the video prior to submitting that individual to the client.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, is the video something new, or is that normal, or is it created because of the situation we are in with everyone being virtual these days?
We have always, TRA has always done the video interviewing. We did launch during COVID, so it it
Right.
may be that there would be a different process, but since we launched during COVID, that's how
Mhm.
it's been done since the inception.
Okay, I thought that might be the case, but you don't hear that often. A lot of people,
Mhm.
everything's virtual, and I'm sure that if it was prior to, I was curious as this, it would it be in person, possibly. But this is more convenient because you said even international you would do, so that makes it much more convenient.
Yeah.
Great, thank you for that. And do you find passive candidates, and you might need to define what passive means. Everyone watching or listening may not understand what that term means, but do you find passive candidates, or are your candidates sourced strictly through ads in a database?
So a passive candidate is an individual that may not be actively looking for a position. Um,
Okay.
we have a database, and we also will post job openings, but in a tight market, we find that we are sourcing more so than we have in the past. We leverage a variety of social media platforms to identify candidates, and also referrals are wonderful when we are recruiting. Um, Although we may contact somebody that's passive, if we actually can connect them with a colleague, they're more likely to respond and show an interest in the position. So referrals are excellent, and we also use other platforms, organizations, anything we can to tap into individuals that might have the skill set that we're looking for.
Okay, great. And do you submit your candidates to only one client or to multiple companies as
Good
well?
question. We submit our candidates to one client. So, in other words, during a search, if we've got several going on for maybe the same discipline, maybe an HR manager, we would not submit that person to two different clients at the same time. That's not to say that we wouldn't take a top candidate that maybe wasn't selected, maybe due to location or whatever it might be, and down the road submit them to another client. But we specifically cater to the client's needs and make sure that that individual fits. So it doesn't make sense to, submit them to
Oh,
several at the same time.
Yeah. And Tanya, if I could add also with TRA, we have a service level agreement. And what we do is we indicate to our clients that we're going to provide a first slate of candidates within a designated period of time. So we're very intentional about keeping that time frame, and that service level agreement is also part of our relationship building with our clients.
okay, very good. I was wondering about that question because I would think if they're a fit for the position, two different companies, why not get? But you explained that very well into why you don't do it. So I appreciate that. And how often are you actually in touch with your clients during the recruitment process?
So this is one of the things that I find with TRA is very unique.
Mhm.
Um, we are, for most of our clients, they work with what's considered to be a relationship manager as a point of contact. And just to describe what a relationship manager might be, they are responsible for managing the partnership between TRA and
Mhm.
the client, and they oversee the project as it progresses. And this really ensures that the clients and the recruiters are continually being updated and informed throughout the process, and that the client is always informed as well as the recruiter, and it makes for a seamless process.
Okay.
And if I may tell you to further expound on what
Absolutely.
Linda has shared, which is so incredibly on point, the relationship managers in most cases will reside on the HRKS side of our house. So they may already be in a relationship with the client, and the client may have requested some uh, recruitment services. But then there are cases where clients will come to us and they're only seeking recruitment. So we will still engage directly from the TRA side with the client, but neither situation avoids us having a relationship manager of some sort that works directly with that client. So we
Okay.
make sure that that's in place. Mhm.
Great. Thank you for that added information. Sounds great. I'm learning a lot myself. I'm sure everyone that is watching or will watch will learn as well. Couple more questions before we end this great session. Um, I know the recruitment market is forever changing. So, what tips would you give candidates when searching for jobs?
That is an excellent question. And you're right, the landscape for candidates has changed. We call this a candidates market. And candidates really need to treat a video interview as though that they're truly like in
Mhm.
person during this interview. So some of the things that we would suggest is they need to have appropriate attire. Don't
Mhm.
come to the interview in a t-shirt with all different kinds of writings and
Mhm.
distractions. Treat this as it's an interview because it truly is, because first impressions are lasting.
That's so
And then
true.
you want to remove any distracting backgrounds like animals running in the background or family members walking past. You want to have a solid background or something where the distractions are removed. You also want to consider, as I said, a solid background only because it does create more consistency in what's being seen and lessens the distractions.
That's
And then you
right.
want to make sure of all things in this world that we're living in, making sure that the technology is working properly. Do a test before you actually do your interview.
Mhm.
Make sure that the lighting is appropriate, and that you can have clarity between what the interviewer sees and what you are projecting on the screen. And they also need to make sure that the volume and the sound is clear, not having a distorted
Mhm.
or distortion between the communications. And finally, I would say most importantly, making eye contact is not a loss, it's not a lost art form. Okay. So you should
Mhm.
always keep top of mind that you want to have eye contact with the interviewer.
Very good. You know what came to mind when you were saying those things? You know that commercial when the lady is talking to her kids over the computer, and it's like a scary monster comes out, and they're because her internet service is not up to speed. So that's what came to mind. You don't want to look like a monster in your interview, everybody. So make sure you got a good connection. So thank you for that, Artie. That's exactly what, but it's true. You
Yeah.
want to have a good connection so it doesn't interrupt, because that would also take away from you and your answers and everything if they can't hear you or you're looking like a monster. I'm just saying. What challenges, this has been a challenging time, especially when you launched TRA, which was in the heart of the pandemic. But what challenges has the pandemic created for TRA when it comes to recruiting, sourcing, and identifying candidates?
Yeah, that's a really good question. The pandemic, in and of itself, has been its own set of circumstances, right? Which has caused a lot of companies to pivot. But what we're finding is that most candidates are really looking for either remote or hybrid opportunities.
Mhm.
Whereas in the past, a good source of applicants, they anticipated coming into the office or to a physical location.
Mhm.
So we are not seeing as many applicants willing to work full time in the office, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
because of the global resignation or the great resignation as it's called, candidates are really being pursued by multiple opportunities. And so they're demanding higher salaries. And this in turn really has a direct impact on the client and their budget capacities that they might have established for those roles. And so we are having to streamline a lot of our processes, which we've done so with TRA. as well as we've worked with our clients to try to help them to expedite their own internal hiring processes. And just to give you an example, in order to make things more timely, so many of our clients have opted, instead of having multiple individual interviews, they've chosen to have panel interviews. So that way you get all the decision makers in
Okay.
one interview session and not risk losing that candidate to another company or two. So those are some
Oh,
we've
that's
said.
interesting. Okay. Well, I think we have come to the end of our edition, TRA edition of the Radical Edge of HR. Before we go and bid farewell, where can candidates find these great openings?
Wow, thank you for asking that. So our candidates can actually go to www.hrrecruits.com to view our career opportunities. That's www.hrrecruits. Let me
Oh.
correct that. www.hrksrecruits.com.
There
Because
you
if you
go.
go to the other sites, you might not get us.
That's right. We don't want you to go anywhere else. Come to
Yeah,
us. There it is. Oh, here it is
recruits.com.
over here. HRK.
Absolutely. My apologies.
Now, if I'm a company, do I go to the same place? I know we said candidates, but do companies that would like to assist in position filling go to the same place?
Well, the companies can actually send us a direct email at info@hrksrecruits.com, so we can have direct connections with them and schedule some
Yes.
time to do a discovery with them. They can also call us at 770-322-4757, and the extension is 1879. And so once again, that email address for direct connection with the client or potential client is info@hrksrecruits.com.
Yes. Thank you so much, Artie and Linda, for sharing that wonderful information with everyone on what TRA actually is and what TRA actually does. So, for your recruiting needs, you heard Artie, you know where to find us, either info@hrksrecruits.com or the website is hrksrecruits.com.
Yes.
Please, please, if you have any recruiting needs, feel free, or any questions related to this or anything else, feel free to hit us up at that email address. Another thing, tune in next month because we're going to come to you monthly, giving you some tips and information that may help you in your recruiting needs or candidates that are looking. We're going to come and just give you a lot of information and tips that will help you with that journey. So we thank you all. Oh, we have a couple of comments, ladies. Okay. Leah Garber, hey Leah, is saying relationship building is so important. HRKS and TRA do such a great job of that with clients and candidates. Thank you, Leah. They're loving the panel interview. Shout out to Rockstar Recruiter Linda.
Thank you.
Tamiko is joining us. Hey, Tamiko, and she has put the information in the chat as well. So there you have it, everyone. Again, feel free to contact us at the email. If you have any questions, join us every month. We'll be putting out the information so you'll know when it is, at the date and time, and different topics that will help you with this journey and process. So Linda and Artie, thank you so much. It was
Thank
great.
you. We
I look
appreciate
forward to
Thank
meeting
you.
you all here next month, and we will talk about some other great stuff. Okay.
it. And
All
shout
right.
out to Jim Davis. I noticed he made a comment too about the panel interview. So thank you, Jim. You're
Yes,
absolutely
that
right.
was Jim. Yes, thank you, Jim. Jim said that panel interview is a great idea. Yes, so thank you, Jim. We appreciate that. So again, follow us, find us at HRKS on all the media outlets, and of course TRA. You have that information as well, and we will see you next month. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.